right, here we have Sheen today, and listening to his heart, Charlie Sheen. We were talking about Gary Busey commenting on Charlie Sheen from one celebrity that's gone through some challenges to another. I don't know if we're going to hear that or not, but if not, we'll just follow up with Sheen being a face reader.
Yeah.
And tell our audience a little bit about what that means.
Yeah, most people have never heard of this. Face reading is actually an ancient branch of Chinese medicine that was originally used to look at someone's health by understanding that there's information on in the patterns of features on someone's face. But they also discovered that you can actually understand or see someone's inner personality by looking at the information on the face, the size and shape of features, wrinkles that develop, even things like that. And so that's basically what I do. And thousands of years ago, face readers in China were the original personal coaches and therapists.
So with that information, you can get a lot of insight into someone's character, into someone's motivation. And of course, with Charlie Sheen being in the news every day, and it gets so much more colorful and interesting, we wanted to look at his face. And from your perspective, tell us what we're really seeing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it kind of hurts your heart to see when you can read the information on his face, but basically there's a lot there that explains why he's going through what he's going through now. His temples, his eyebrows, and his jaw show someone who will tend to have an addictive personality, who will tend to have anger issues, who will tend to view every interaction as a war that he has to win. Right? And so we see how he's kind of manifesting this in the world. It doesn't mean that he's a bad person, but he's really expressing who he is in a negative way. And, you know, obviously I think we all hurt for him.
Absolutely. So some of his features, again, you're talking about some very distinct features. Can we go over those just one more time?
So very, very broad jaw, rather very sharply
There we go. Pictures
defined.
of him.
Yeah,
okay, great.
Okay. Oh. And so that kind of jaw combined with slightly indented temples at the sides of his forehead, and then those eyebrows, which, if you see, come down very close to the inner corners of his eyes. This is someone who has enormous inner tension, enormous inner rage, very, very hard on himself. If you think he expresses anger to other people, that's just a fraction of what he's actually doing to himself inside.
What would you say his inner dialogue is like then?
Yeah, there's incredible tension and the need to release that in immense stress in his system, and that's why he's drawn to drugs and alcohol and bad behavior and things like that. But that can be flipped. You know, a lot of people call my work acupuncture for the spirit, because you can look at a problem and see how to bring balance back. He could actually be brilliant at creating positive change in the world. We've heard that Sean Penn has invited him to Haiti to help out there. That would actually be the best and healthiest thing that he could possibly do with his life at this point in time.
So you're saying that you have the face, you read the face, ancient Chinese wisdom, but it doesn't dictate how your life has to turn out. You have choices and options.
Right. So we all have tendencies and we all have potentials. We all have strengths and challenges, and your face shows you that. And so many of us, I think, go through life, you know, judging ourselves, beating up on ourselves, and thinking there's something wrong with us that needs to be fixed. Yeah. But actually, we've just navigated a little off course in life. And if we can come back into balance, we can be the most positive expression of who we are. Charlie Sheen has enormous energy, and he could be using that to do wonderful things.
Another woman that we're keeping our eyes and our tabs on, Lindsay Lohan.
Right.
Her facial features very, very distinctive.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that if you look at some pictures of her with her hair pulled back like we're seeing now, you see that her hairline is very irregular. It kind of goes up and down. That's actually a sign of, number one, someone who had a troubled adolescence, very difficult time in adolescence, and actually poor guidance by her mother, interestingly enough. That's what that hairline shows.
Interesting. Poor guidance by her mother,
yeah,
who was a very strong influence in her life, whereas her father was more absent.
Exactly, exactly.
Really interesting. Okay, so her facial features that we're looking at right now, how can her life be flipped around? How can she take those and perhaps be a productive citizen?
Yeah, so one of the things her face shows is that she will deal with an undercurrent of anxiety, and she needs to learn how to calm herself out and how to settle. She's very excitable, and she may make impulsive choices, poor decisions, be very reactive emotionally, but again, all that can be brought back into balance, and she can be an incredible person, obviously very talented in what she does, but much more loving and stable as a person.
I think her high cheekbones are something that people are, you know, really focus on.
Yeah.
What do those say about her?
Cheeks stand for our ability to speak up. And so, number one, she can speak up in her acting career, but I'm sure that she's not shy in her own life about speaking up for what she wants, and sometimes feeling a little bit entitled, for instance, with the incident with the walking out with the necklace in the jewelry store, just a little bit entitled entitled to kind of take whatever she wants.
I see. Okay. Jean, such a fascinating job that you do, and you want to be able to teach other people how to do this for themselves
It's
and
so
in their
easy
own
to learn.
lives.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a couple of events, and they're free. You've got one coming up in April from 1 to 3 at the Encinitas Library, and also wisdomofyourface.com is where we can get more information. I know you've got some events coming up in May and all throughout the year.
Yeah.
Okay, final words about these celebrities.
Well, you know, I think that we love to, in a way, see people crash and burn, and I hope that, you know, within that we can also see the heart of the person and to wish them back to health. That's the goal of my work, is not to judge people, but to actually have more compassion for them.
Wonderful. Jean, thanks so much for coming on today.
My pleasure.